Hey guys, Gathering Magic back again, and it's time for another episode of the Splinterlands Market Watch. This is Market Watch number 16. Today is July 28th, 2024, so we're going to take a look at all the different tokens, packs, cards in the Splinterlands universe. So let's get started as we always do with SPS. So SPS is down slightly from 2 weeks ago. Right now it is currently at 0.6 of a cent. That seems to be the floor that we're holding. Not quite sure if we're going to drift down to half a cent or not, but it seems like the slowing in the SPS price has kind of almost come to a halt. It looks like, or come to a floor, with us sitting at 0.6 of a cent. So we may go a little bit lower, but I think we pretty much, at least my personal feeling is, it looks like we've hit the bottom at least for now. We'll see if what continues for the next couple of weeks, but like I said, it seems like 0.006 has been holding pretty steady for the last 2 weeks. Vouchers have drifted lower. They've drifted under a penny, so they're now currently 0.0095. I've been trading some of my part and some tokens from some other games into vouchers. It looks like the voucher proposal by the People's Guild is probably the one that's going to pass, where utility for vouchers will be limited solely to the glint shop. So I think at some point in the future, they will implement this, and they'll probably put some cool promo cards or other items that are either voucher only in the glint shop, or you're going to need vouchers and then maybe glint to be able to get specific items. So looks like the voucher utility will go back to what it was originally designed for, more of an access token to special items rather than just a discount token. We'll see, but I don't think voucher price is going to go up anytime soon. But while the price, at least for me, seems to be low, under a penny a piece, it's a great time to pick up, a few hundred, every week or so. So that's my personal approach to vouchers. Just going to keep accumulating and wait for the cool stuff to show up. Okay, DEC per thousand, pretty much holding steady for the last couple weeks. We've been hovering right around 70 cents per thousand. So with vouchers being probably moved, like I said just a minute ago, to use cases simply as an access token in the glint shop, maybe this will help the DEC price. You're not going to be able to burn vouchers for energy. You're not going to be able to burn vouchers for the wild pass. So I think that is a great move to help the DEC price. So if you're looking to pick up a cheap DEC at basically 70% of PEG, not sure how much longer that will go on. My personal feeling is I think DEC is going to slowly start drifting up, probably to about 80 cents or so per thousand. So for me, I still need a ton of DEC for land workers. So I'm still accumulating DEC. Okay, vouchers that we just talked about. Over the last 2 weeks, we've gone up 150,000 vouchers, so a little over 10,000 a day. As you guys know, they issue 40,000 a day, so there still is a lot of burning going on for vouchers. We'll see how this is changed in the next couple weeks or a month, once vouchers can no longer be burned for energy or as discounts for packs. So let's see if that's going to make the change per day go from about plus 10,000. Maybe people start using fewer and fewer vouchers since they can't use them for energy, and this starts going up. So I think the voucher supply is probably going to increase a lot more dramatically than it has been over the last few months, where we've been increasing 10, maybe 15,000, 17,000 per day. I think it may shoot up more than that. So short term, at least, I think the voucher supply is really going to start inflating even more until they come up with what I mentioned previously with the glint shop and voucher utility being changed. So I think over the next couple of months, the voucher supply is going to go a lot higher. Price is probably going to go lower, maybe down to maybe half a cent, maybe about where SPS is. And then once the cool things start showing up in the glint store, then you're going to see vouchers starting to get burned, and you're going to see the price kind of stabilize higher. At least that's my feeling of how it's going to go over the next probably couple, 3 months. SPS burn. So in the last 2 weeks, we burned just under 250,000 SPS. So we're burning about 17,600 SPS every day. And this is with SPS being, 0.6 of a cent, and vouchers being, or DEC being way under peg. So once DEC starts, slowly trending back to peg, maybe we're going to see the SPS burning increase. But right now, over the last couple months, it's been basically between 15 and 30,000 SPS a day. Okay, so now let's get to packs. Once again, I just want to say that the pack prices that I'm going by are the ones off the marketplace. For a while, I was also looking at Hive, but there's not very much volume to go by week to week with Hive for a lot of the sets, especially the older sets. So I'm just going to go by the current prices that are on the Splinterlands market. So as we look for over the last couple of weeks, not a whole lot of changes. The one thing I do want to point out to you guys, if you are interested in Untamed packs, currently they're selling for just under $5 on the marketplace, but if you go to Hive, I believe there are some available for sale for under $2.50 a piece. I'm recording this the night of July 28th, so if you have a chance to go over to Hive, you can check that out if that's something you're interested in. So I did notice that earlier today. I haven't had a chance in the last 2 minutes to see if those are still there, but I did notice it earlier today. So once again, if you're looking for Untamed packs, a lot cheaper than in-game, just head on over to Hive. But looking at the prices here, you'll notice that over the last 2 weeks, there's not a whole lot of movement. Dice is a little bit lower. Chaos Legion has actually gone up a couple of cents. But it has been hovering pretty much consistently over the last month or month and a half between 35 and 40 cents a pack. So that's pretty stable. Rift Watchers has gone up a little bit from $2 to $2.45 a pack. And Rebellion, even though it is not selling a whole lot per day, the cards are holding their price and their packs are really holding the price at around the 280 to 290 cent range. So if you're looking for Rebellion packs, still under $3, think it's a great buy. But like I said, over the last 2 weeks, we've only sold a little over 3,700 packs. So we're selling just over 266 packs a day. So not a whole lot of movement on Rebellion packs. Rift Watchers, over the last 2 weeks, we've opened over 500 packs. And then Chaos Legion, we've opened over 11,000 packs. And then, of course, a lot of the older sets, just a small amount of packs have been opened, just a handful here and there. Just to kind of highlight, Alpha has just over 4,000 packs available. Beta 20,000, Untamed a little over 44,000, and then Dice just over 5,000, and Orb just under 7,000. So if we do get an influx of new players, over the next few months or year or two, and they want to play in Wild or just want to experience some of the older sets, these packs probably will not last very long at these prices, but time will tell. We'll see if we get that influx of players or not. Okay, so now let's look at sets. So starting as we always do with Alpha. The one thing that I did notice for Alpha movement this week are the commons. The floor price has really moved up. For the last month or so, there's been 1 or 2 or 3 commons that have been like under 40 cents, 15 cents for one, 20 some cents for another one. Now the floor price for the commons are 50 cents, going up to $1.55. So they're kind of holding in this range. I think, these were kind of outliers for the last month or so, getting some of the lower commons, under 40 cents. It looks like people have bought those up. And now we're seeing the floor at 50 cents. The rares look like the floor for those are now $1, $1 to $5 for the rares. Epics sitting at $2.69 to $5, and then legendaries currently are $18 to right around $60 for legendary cards from Alpha. Gold foil prices, the commons have come up a little bit. They had drifted lower over the last 2-3 months. I think when I first started doing this, the gold foil commons were around $20, $22 for the cheapest ones. They've drifted all the way down to $13. Now they've bounced back over the last 2 weeks a little bit to $15. And the outliers that we had 2 weeks ago, a single copy for $2,500. Now it's a more normal range. We're looking at $15 to $60 for a gold foil alpha common. For rares, you're looking at $57 up to $9.66. Once again, this is an outlier. I would say probably the high end for a gold foil rare usually is around the $200, $250 range. So anything above that, I would kind of ignore. This is usually just, a single copy that people are trying to sell just to see if they get a bite. Gold foil epics, exactly the same as they were 2 weeks ago. Have not changed at all in price, not any movement there. And legendaries, pretty much the same as they were 2 weeks ago. The only difference was Lord of Darkness that they were asking $7,500 for 2 weeks ago. They've dropped that down to just under $4,000. For the promo cards, once again, not a whole lot of movement, just slightly lower across the board, with the exception of the legendary. So the legendary promo card, they were asking just under $1,500 2 weeks ago. Now it's just over $500. For the gold foil promos, there were no rares for the last month or so. There's currently a couple listed for $119. The epic, the price was raised from $199 to $1,000. So someone really wants to make some money on that epic card. And then legendary gold foil, there's one for $2,999. Okay, let's go to now beta. So your beta cards, the base cards really don't change a whole lot for every week to week. The only thing that really changes that's noticeable are the legendary cards. This $275 that I want to point out was for Valnamore, and this was not a single BCX copy. I believe this was a level 2, so this was 3 BCX. So now when you see $88, don't think, oh, it went down from $275 to $88. This is now a single BCX that's available for sale. 2 weeks ago, they were all level 2 and up to max level. There were no single copies available, so that's why there's the price difference here. Other than that, not really a whole lot of movement in beta. The gold foils, some of the high-end ones did come down a little bit. So gold foil commons came down from 32 to 15. This seems to be more the normal range. You're looking at, $1.25 to $1.50 for your base common, up to about $15. That seems about a normal range. For your rares, 732 to 700. Once again, this is an outlier. Usually your rares are, in the $6 to $8 range for the low, up to maybe 150 or so for the high. Gold foil epics, you're looking at 35.70. The high end went from 700 down to 500, and then your gold foil legendary cards, the high dollar one, the $4,000 one, is once again Valnamore. So there's a single copy available for $4,000. Looking at your beta promo cards, the common, which is the Dragon Summoner, for quite a while he was around 50 to 70 cents, has really come down in the last month or so, down in the low 30s 2 weeks ago. Now he's back up to 40 cents. Your promo card for the rare, 17 cents, came up to 34. Epic, basically unchanged, still right around $1. And then your legendary promos, the Red Dragon, a month ago was $10. Now, 2 weeks ago went down to $8.40. Now it's down to $7.22. So not a whole lot of people looking to pick up this card. That's why they're kind of lowering the price until it sells. Prince Julian, just under 3,000. And Archmage Arius, just at $700 even. And then the gold foil versions, the gold foil Summoner went down from $6 to $4.60. Gold foil rare, exactly the same at $14.95. Your gold foil epic went from $85 to just under $80. And then your gold foil legendary cards, Prince Julian and Archmage Arius, there are none available. And there's still that single copy of the Red Dragon for $700. Okay, moving to Untamed. So Untamed, commons, not a lot of movement, basically a penny to 21 cents. Your rares, the high end came down from $3.90 to $2.08 for your Untamed rares. Epics, 15 to 18 cents is about normal for the low end. The high end came down from $2 to $1.30. So once again, if you're looking to pick up Untamed cards to just kind of fill out your deck if you do play in Wild, prices do continue to drift lower. Even the legendary card, as we'll see in a minute, the high-end card went from $53.50 to an even $50. So, but I did notice a lot of the commons are very, very affordable. 21 cents was the high end, but you can pick up a lot of great commons there from 5 to 15 cents a piece. Okay, and then your gold foils, if you want to go the gold foil route, commons 40 cents to $4. Your rares $1.64 to 43, so the high end of that came down a little bit. Epics almost exactly the same. You're looking at $8.50 for the low end, up to $36. And then your gold foil legendary, and you will be surprised, or maybe not surprised, that Kitty is not the most expensive gold foil legendary in Untamed, but your range is $75 for the low end, up to $1,777. So what is that card? We will get to that in a minute. Some of the highlights for the legendaries: Kitty came down from $53.50 to even $50, so that's the highest regular foil card in Untamed. Llama came down from $38.50 to $28.80. Jotun came down from $30 to $25. And Kron, which for the longest time was $10 to $17. A couple weeks ago came under 10. I picked up a couple of them for right around $9. It's drifted a little bit lower. Now it's just over 8. So if you're looking to pick up a Kron, you can still pick one up for just over $8. And then for the gold foils for the set, gold foil Kitty is now under $1,000 at $940. The gold foil Llama is sitting just under $300 at $294.52. And Jotun has made a resurgence. A couple weeks ago, the gold foil was $750. Now there's a single copy available, and they're asking $1777. So currently, that is the highest price gold card in Untamed. And look at this, guys, gold foil Kron, which is usually $150 to $300, somewhere in that range. There's one available for $790. So even though the base version is only $8, almost 100x for the gold foil version. Just a huge difference. Okay, and then the promo cards. So for the epics, Halfling Alchemist, $3.16. A couple weeks before that, it was sitting around $5. Now it's drifted down to just over $2, $2.20. The Chain Golem, which bounces all over the place. I've seen it in the 20s. I've seen it in the 30s. 2 weeks ago it was just under 7. Now it's back to 16. So this is a card that really can't find its price point. It just bounces all over the place. So if you're looking to pick one up, where's it going to go from here? Is it going to go 16 back 20 plus, or is it going to drift back down to 7? This is a card that I really don't have a good grasp on. It just, like I said, it just goes all over the place. Mighty Dricken has come down from 1,000 to 891. And then the gold foil versions, the Halfling Alchemist, pretty much the same, 72 to 71. And the Chain Golem just dropped $1 from 80 to 79. No gold foil Drickens. Okay, dice, the small set, so this will be very easy to go through. Your commons still sitting at the 2-cent range to just over 40 cents. Your rares, so check these out, guys. If you're looking for summoners, the rare cards are all summoners and dice. So your cheapest one is 17 cents, and then the most expensive, Mylor, is down to $1.21. Lorna Shine, I also noticed, was just over 50 cents. So if you're looking to pick up either a Lorna, maybe a Bright and Bloom, which I think was around 80 some cents, or Mylor at $1.20, you can get some pretty decent summoners if you're playing in Wild, for right around $1 or less. So definitely check those out if that is something you're interested in, building up your summoners. Looking at epics, going from 16 cents to 55. And then your legendaries. Card that I wanted to point out too, $78 for Epona. She's been the most expensive card in the set, but what kind of surprised me when I looked earlier, the card that's usually number 2, Crowless, usually in that $25 to $35 range, was under 10. So I'm not sure if that card is still there. But if it is, that is definitely what I would consider a good buy. Let me see if I can look it up real quick as I'm checking this out. Crowless, $9.07 currently. And then your gold foil versions, commons, usually 40 cents to 57 cents, so normal range there. Your gold foil rares, $2.13 to $12.13. So if you're looking to pick up a gold foil Mylor Summoner, you can get one for just over $12. Let me look very quickly at the other summoners. You can get Ouster and Lorna for both $4.55. You can get a Bright and Bloom for $8 for a gold foil version. So not bad at all if you're looking to pick up summoners from Dice. Your epics, $10 to $11.70, and then your gold foil legendaries range from $95 up to $1,000. Okay, and then another small set. If we look at Orb, not a whole lot of movement here. As you guys can see, your commons are always going to be, just a few pennies, to 18 cents. Very affordable. Rares, 14 cents to 23. The epics, 60 cents to 3.90. So this is a card that had a little bit of a spike. It's one card that I have looked at and talked about in the past. So there's only two epics in the set. They are the Dwarven Wizard and the Mermaid Healer, and for the longest time they were both around $2-3. 2 weeks ago they drifted lower, but now the Mermaid Healer is the one that is sitting at $3.90. So there's been some demand for that card. Your legendaries you're looking at just under $4 for the low end, up to right around 15. Your gold foil versions, normal prices I would say for gold foil commons for some of the older sets, $1.50 to $2.50, right in that range. Gold foil rares right around $10. Epics, a single gold foil epic of that Mermaid Healer for just under $1,100. And then your gold foil legendaries, currently the Lord of Fire is sitting at $4.99, the Minotaur Warlord at $6.75, and the Corrupted Pegasus at $1,400. So not a lot of movement in any of the higher end gold foil cards. All right, now to everyone's favorite set, Chaos Legion. So what do we talk about in Chaos Legion? You guys know there's tons of all these cards out there. Commons and rares, really not a lot of movement at all. The summoners are now extremely affordable. General Sloan right around 10 cents. The other one's in the 15 to 18 cent range. And then Kelly is sitting at 21. So will these go lower? Who knows? They might drift a little bit lower, but still, if you're looking to pick up some summoners cheap and build your deck, can't beat Chaos Legion, especially for land workers. Regular foil epics sitting in that 8 to 48 cent range. Legendaries sitting at 39 cents up to $5.30. And the one thing I wanted to point out here is the highest cost legendary regular foil is now Lily. So it had been either Possibilis or Immortalis over the last few months, but now Lily has taken the top spot at just over $5. Gold foil commons, 13 cents to just under $1 for the commons. The rares, 50 cents to $2.25. Gold foil epics, $2.55 to $20, and the $20 is kind of an outlier. Let me go there real quick. So, looking at Chaos Legion and looking at epics, the $20 one is simply a Prismologist that is the only copy on the marketplace. So that's the reason why it is $20. Other than that, your most expensive gold foil epic is the Tidebiter at $7. So sitting at $2.55 to basically $7 is the range for your gold foil epics. The $20 is just kind of the single copy that's out there. So even though there was a ton of Chaos Legion printed, looking at the marketplace for gold foil epics, there's anywhere from about 30, 35 all the way down to just a handful of copies of some of these cards. So even though there's, a couple thousand of each of these gold foil epics printed, there's hardly any on the marketplace. So keep an eye on these gold foil cards, especially the commons and epics seem to be popular choices for land. And I think we're getting closer to the next phase, maybe in the next month or so, in the next town hall. They might mention when we're going to get the next phase of land where we can collect other resources other than grain. And maybe people start filling out some more of their plots and looking for some more of these cards to start filling them up, since gold foil Chaos Legion cards seem to be the way to go. Gold foil legendaries, the base price or the low floor price came up a little bit from just around $16 to $17.50. And then the top end legendary at $134. And the high end card is, may not surprise you, Lily Shieldpaw. There are 2 copies available on the market for over $134. Other than that, there's 1 copy of Jin Bilka for 99, and then after that it drops down to not Possibilis or Immortalis. Is it the Fanged? Really? $55, but it's because it's the only copy. 3 copies of Grum for 45. So there's still a great time to pick up some of the summoners, gold foil legendary summoners. You can pick up Grandmaster Wraith for under 20 bucks. Let's see, what else do we have? Conqueror Yasik for 30, Astral Entity for 28, Quicks for 38.50, Immortalis for 39, Possibilis for 40. So those are the prices for your gold foil summoners. Looking at the promo cards, so the Bear and Vruz both came down just a few cents, down from 5 cents to 3 for the Bear and 14 to 9 for Vruz. So the regular versions went down, but notice the big increase in the gold foils. So the gold foils really jumped up in price. In fact, the Bear almost tripled, and the gold foil Vruz went from $1 to $4. So the gold foil versions have become very sought after and very desirable, while people are kind of dumping the base versions. Looking at the legendary promo cards, not a whole lot of movement. Dr. Blight did go up a little bit. He was under 10. Now he's at 11.50. Zerial bounced back from 10 to 13. Walk-on Lux pretty much stayed the same. Looking at the gold foils, the one card that I really wanted to point out was Dr. Blight. So even though, you know, that card has kind of drifted lower, it had a little bit of a rebound this week. 2 weeks ago, you could have picked up a gold foil Dr. Blight for under $50. Now the cheapest one on the market is over $200. So I think people realize the power of the card, especially being able to pick up a gold foil version that's automatically level 2. They snatched that one up, so now the floor price is $215 for that. And for months on end, I can't remember the last time I saw a gold foil Lux on the marketplace. So there wasn't one 2 weeks ago for the Market Watch, and there's not one now. So no gold foil Luxes on the market. Going to Rift Watchers. Is there anything really to talk about with Rift Watchers? Not really. The only card really to point out from regular foil version is the Epic, which are the Summoners. Trying to remember the name of the card. It doubled in price, went from $2 to $4. So let's look at Summoners, Epic. So it is Ilthane. Ilthane went from 2 to 4, and not very many copies on the market. I'm looking at all the other Epic Summoners right now. They're in the 20 to 40 card range on the marketplace. There's only 5 Ilthanes on the market, and the cheapest one is $4. So there are 2 single BCX copies on the market for $4. Other than that, it jumps to $60 for a max level. So you've got 3 max levels on the market and 2 single copies for $4 a piece. So there are very, very few Ilthanes on the market if that is a card you're targeting. For the gold foils, really not a whole lot of change. The gold foil common, let me look real quick and see what's the one that spiked to $6. It's probably an outlier. Junker. There's 5 copies of Junker available, and the cheapest one is $6. Yeah, don't pay that for the Junker. Normal range is, 15 cents to $1.50, $2. So don't get that card. That should be, probably a $1.25 card. Looking at the rares, you're looking at 68 cents to right around $5. Your gold foil epics, which are your summoners, you're looking at $5 to $11 range. And then your gold foil legendary cards have been pretty consistently. Rift Watchers has really held its value for the gold foil legendaries at right around $25 for the floor for the cheapest, up to right around $190 to $200. So not a whole lot of Rift Watchers was open. There's not very many packs available. I think this is kind of a slept-on set. Very powerful rares, decent legendaries. Some of them are really good. A couple of them are duds. But overall, a very strong set. If this set had better epic cards for the summoners, this would be a home run set. But I think the epics are the one thing that holds it back. But other than that, a very strong set. Not a whole lot of these open. Not a lot of people hanging on to packs. And we'll see what the set does in the coming months. But I've always been very, very bullish on the Rift Watcher cards overall. Okay, next and finally will be Rebellion. So we'll go through this, and then we'll wrap up this, and then I will record part 2, where instead of just looking at the pure numbers, we're going to go to the marketplace and just kind of get a visual on how many cards are on the market. Okay, so for Rebellion Commons, 4 cents to 25 for the high end. Your rares, 15 cents to $1.22. So the high end has come down a little bit, with your Moxie and Rebel. So if you're looking to pick up that card, it's come down from just under $2 to $1.20. So definitely check that out if you're looking for that card. Regular foil epics, 64 cents to 6.75 for Captain Fellblade. And then your legendary cards, still holding very good value, right around $4 up to 20. So the high end cards have come down from the low to mid 20s down to 20 bucks. So if you're looking to pick up some legendary cards in Rebellion, this is probably the lowest that I've seen it in a couple of months for some of the higher end cards, and we'll get to that in a second. Gold foil commons are in the 65 cents to just under $4 range. Your rares, you're looking at just under 268 to right around 15, so pretty normal prices here. Epics have come down a little bit for the high end. 13.77 for a gold foil epic, up to $39. And then your gold foil legendaries, pretty much the floor price is $80 to $90. The $900 for the high end are strictly just single copies that are available. So I would say, $87 to probably right around $150, $200 is the normal range for these cards, if we had more of them on the marketplace. And then looking at the key cards that we've had, Kai has come down from 6 to 5. The gold foil version 2 weeks ago, I think there was only 1 or 2 copies available for 600. There's a few more in the market now, so that's come down to 150. So you can kind of see the normal range of $100 to $200. The Rage card is once again the one that was a single copy of 2 weeks ago, and it's still sitting there. So if you take that out, you can see the nice range of 125 to right around $200 for these cards. And you can see they're holding their value over the last couple of weeks. A Kane has actually gone up from $12.25 to just under 15. Darg's come up from 13 to 15. Venka's come down a little bit from 24 to 20, just settling in that range. And then Cryptic has come up, just a few cents from 13.50 to 14 bucks. And then finally, looking at the promo cards, Grimbarden Smith had a little bit of a rebound from 3 to 320. Gold version is still holding right above 30 bucks, so pretty steady there. Mantaroth seems like every 2 weeks he bounces up and down, but still holding pretty strong at 39 bucks. And the gold foil version is just a little under 200, sitting at 190.82. And then the newest promo cards, the Enforcer, right around 70 cents, pretty much unchanged, up to just over $7 for the gold foil. And finally, Baron Fiat came down from 5 to 420. The gold foil came a little bit lower from 118 to just under 110. So overall, the market for some of the newer cards, especially Rebellion, is holding pretty strong. Every once in a while you're going to have an outlier card in some of the older sets that seem to spike. Chaos Legion, if you're looking for land, keep an eye on the commons. We'll go through in part 2 the liquidity of some of these cards. And then the older sets, if you're looking to pick up some summoners for dice, might be the time to do it. 17 cents to $1.21 for those summoners. And then even though there was a spike kind of in price for alpha commons, the floor going from 15 cents to 50, long term, I love alpha. Anything that's the first set or the first card in any game, usually long term has great value and potential. And like I've said, if we get a new influx of players, it's going to be interesting to see with the low market liquidity what these prices look like 2-3 years from now. But that's it for part 1, guys. So hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for part 2, which I will upload shortly. That we will look directly at the market and just kind of look at how many cards are in circulation and how many cards are available for sale on the market. So hope you guys are doing well. Stay the course, keep on forging, have fun, and part 2 will be available shortly. Take care.